circumstances and conditions.
All right, so I'm really interested to see what happens in the level 1.
As always, down 4.4.
Yeah,
It's been
exactly.
crazy. Absolutely crazy.
It's kind of the game of hide and seek. I pretty much always nowadays just want to be with my team no matter what they're doing for the beginning of the game, because you never know when that 5-man squad is going to come around, jump out from a bush or something. So it's become very, very important, the level 1s now. We've seen actually a lot of 2 versus 1s because it's very easy to 2 versus 1 now and guarantee a buff for yourself. You just invade your opponent's side. And it often turns out that you're just trading buffs. But as long as you're not coming out down 1 to 3 on the buffs, then that's probably the way most teams want to go. But man, XDG and Coast just go back to the same old boring 4.3 style here.
They're alive.
They don't want to take chances.
They're happy with boring if they are alive. We'll see what.
Whoa! Zoom in on Zion. He's going to be important. That's why.
Zion pushing himself into that spot so he can see that bush position as well as anybody coming in above him. Quick bit of sentry safety as a personal. We'll see what else they can have on this first. I don't know if they're going to have the wards out. Nope. I was looking at inventories. No vision wards have been purchased, as we've seen in previous games going on by the supports.
All right.
Like these guys go blind.
The late invade. Looks like we will be having that up top here. Smithy heading up towards that bush.
So,
It'll be interesting to see if they actually fight this, because nobody is on the bottom side of the map right now. Everybody is up top, and it will be a late invade, maybe from both teams.
Nope.
All right, the bait. Zion the bait. Can he lure him in?
Oh, man.
He's bobbing up and down.
Oh, man.
Bobbing up and down.
Oh, not what they wanted on this one. So
They got him.
Sheep is going to be going down in this one. Whether it's an assist for everybody else, they may flash over wall just for this. Nice Zenith's Blade take. Everybody waiting on that level 1 to take what they need to get themselves an assist and a hand in this one. It's going to be a... Whoa, wait a minute. Oh, wait. No, still wait. Yes, he is going to get out alive. Fancy feet. Proving me wrong, and I'm eating my own words here. Great job by Sheep.
All right, flash for a flash. Now it is a solo lane flash here, and it's going to be Zion. You know, he doesn't really have to worry about it as much since the solo laners have been jungling a lot. But since the swap has been answered, both duos up top, he actually needs to get to that lane and not jungle as usual for the sort of top laners, quote-unquote, that are actually going to be down bottom this time.
Very interesting choice of champions really all around here, especially with Fusion, like we said, playing that Varus. He has, but deciding not to go for Caitlyn this game on that. 6 plays on Caitlyn, a pretty good record. Not positive, but he decides to bring out Varus. Only played it back in week 1, so he may feel like he has something under his belt in the advantage here. Mid lane Shifter trying to push ManCloud into the turret. Already has a bit of a level advantage, but can't push it.
All right, let's take a look at the top lane. Neither of them have started with gold for 5s, these supports. Oh, Sheep with a great answer for Daydreamin'.
Very nice flay into the auto attack. This could be it. No, they do not have that last shot coming out. Very close as Zuna almost goes down as well.
So Thresh and Twitch is a very, very scary early lane here, but so is Varus and Leona. They both have similar damage procs.
Nicely predicted.
Right. So this is Shifter kind of showing why he's one of the few Ahri players right now. Taking those small opportunities to be able to weave your charm in through minions. It's very difficult to do, but he's...
It is. Especially playing Ahri when there's a big wave in the middle, is you almost tell when you're trying to get a charm off because you have to walk outside of it. So anytime he can get that now just shows the power of Shifter. He's already caused ManCloud to drink down his potion, so he's trying to farm from afar for the time being. 4 minutes in, only a little bit of a lead has been had by pretty much the pressure you've seen in the lanes here, and Nintendo's going to try to create more.
All right, so he heads up. There's no wards currently up top. Good call there from Team Coast. And Nintendo making his first move here. If XDG go aggressive at all, they will definitely pay for it.
Slowly wait.
So just by playing passively, Coast think that there's a ward here now. So Nintendo has actually backed off from his aggressive move. Now, down bottom, we talked about Zion. He was going to be a really important matchup here. He's down 9 to 24 because he took so long getting down to that lane. and Benny's going to have a really good time down here. Pretty much it's just up to Benny to keep good ward coverage, and he should be able to retain control of this lane for the remainder.
And what does it kind of tell us that we're not seeing teleport on these guys this game? We've kind of seen it in the past 2 games, especially with the 4.4 change.
Yeah, I guess they want to fight more. They want to have more combat viability in their lane. But man, is teleport hard to pass up now. I really, really like the new teleport on the top laners. Both of them looking for those in-lane kills, though. So they have brought the ignites. I mean, it's especially effective for Zion because he wants to cut through all the extra healing that Trundle has.
Right.
But it's not going to be the case this time around because, as we said, he got such a huge lead, that Trundle in lane, by getting there early. It's going to be hard for Zion to actually bully him.
We'll see what happens. They may get a little bit more love this time since they're on the Dragon side. And top lane may get a little bit of love here from McSmithy. So when this turret goes down, everybody's going to be swapping around, and we'll see what effect that Zion and Benny can have on the game. Only 6 minutes in here. The turret pushing is not too big by either team. Most of the lanes are just even at the moment.
And there's not any sort of deep ward coverage. A lot of the times we'll see junglers trying to take advantage of all these swaps and get down some early vision. Looks like Nintendo is trying to make his first move, though. Check.
Got it. Wraith Ward. 300 gold in the lead now for XDG. How are they going to push this or even work with this? Nintendo X still kind of waiting off in the wing here. Getting wards.
Now, the thing is, with Kha'Zix versus Lee Sin, it's pretty close matchup early game, but Lee Sin has the opportunity to miss his skill shots, whereas Kha'Zix is going to do all his damage no matter what. So really, it's pretty even until Lee Sin misses something. If he does, then it goes in Nintendo's favor.
There's an engagement going in onto Zuna. Good damage from the piercing arrow. And he misses the hail, actually. And then catch back onto Wiz Fusion.
To reopen there.
Zuna had to be careful there. He was actually walking back through the slow of the hail of arrows. So
yeah.
It's been a bad re-engage.
Just because you land a death sentence, you do not always want to re-engage there, especially since he got completely chunked before that thing landed. Very dangerous for him, but they pull back out because Leona's cooldowns were up, so not able to. All right. So if you're just gonna keep calling that, you have to call where, or else it's just kind of annoying.
Zuna. Oh, the barrier goes down. We'll have to see if XDG can get it down here. Very nice cripple, but he can't activate the after the Tempest. Looks like Daydreamin may have a bit of a problem here. 3 level 5s, I should say, chasing him down. Do you want it? Lee Syndrome. He does not.
All right. So ward placement paying off there for XDG. Pink Ward's going to secure them. And Smithy looks like he has stepped it up. He's able to get that first blood. Going to be very happy with that. We talked about him needing to step back up, get back to where he was. This is going to be a great start for him.
We'll have to have and see if Zion Spartan can get himself going. Now about 20 CS behind in that lane. Benny really taking control. He's going to be able to steal whatever stats Zion tries to get as they go into the late game.
Yeah. And down that bottom line, since you brought up the no teleport top lane, I mean, it kind of turns this game into a much easier to predict game, how it's going to go out. The last game that we just saw, TSM versus CLG, was more of a cerebral game, and they have many more options for their rotations and their map movements. But this one is really going to be all about just the grouped up team fights for both of these guys and their positioning during those fights. So the first Dragon, since both top laners are down there and the duos are up top, will probably be a lot further away. I'm very interested to see how they can actually set that one up.
ManCloud wanting that blue buff so he can get these clear on the waves and that energy regen. He'll be quite well off against Shifter here, but Nintendo's going to try to make that a little scarier, and they say, I thought they were going to want the blue buff. A little too tricky to try and get a Zed, though.
Yeah, ManCloud's not worried. He's doing pretty well, too. Staying even here. He's got at least the Cutlass, so he has opportunity, but Ahri versus Zed is a very interesting matchup because when Zed goes in for his death mark, Ahri, you know exactly where he will appear after the shadow.
Yeah.
So an experienced Ahri will immediately be able to land his charm on you after you throw out your death mark. So if Shifter is able to do that and get his combo and also Spirit Rush away from the follow-up damage, then it goes in his favor. But it's up to ManCloud to wait on that cooldown until he has the positional advantage.
I'd be pretty blown away
Look at
to
this.
see that happen. Oh, he misses the Q just off to the left side. Zion Spartan staying safe in what would have really put him behind in this lane. He's already having trouble.
Man, I mean, this deep coverage is really doing a lot for Coast. They've got so much vision inside the jungle here. They know where Smithy's going to be for the next 10 to 15 seconds at least.
Yep.
And it opens up Nintendo to make pretty much whatever sort of move that he wants to. But he's just hard farming his jungle so far. There's not a lot of options for him. Zed very, very hard to gank this close to his turret.
Coast.
He's going to walk right over a ward as well.
Well, Coast making sure they gain all the ward control on the top. You can see they have 3 placed so they continuously can play pushed up against Zuna and Sheep. And 10 dudes seeing Benny, but he's waiting for Shifter. They're getting the group together here. They're calling in all the friends.
Coast should know that they've been spotted here.
If it takes longer than 5 or 10 seconds to activate what you're doing, you might want to reconsider. Shifter with 1 more rush is able to get out, taking 2 turret shots to the face. Looks like he may be able to get a Lee Sin Q, that extra damage. Zion Spartan still has Dragons. He definitely just juked him there. Those are some sore ankles coming out of that fight, and it looks like Sheep's going to go down. The last hit, the flash, auto attack from Daydreaming coming in, but it was necessary. Zuna looking for the last expunge. If he has it, the flask is down, but he does not have expunge.
Man. So down bottom, Smithy with a great juke there, canceling the second activation of Q with a safeguard to a short ward and baiting Zion's ulti. But man, up top, the difference between focusing support and focusing AD in those trades, yes, you killed Sheep, but Zuna retains control of the lane. So even though they got 1 kill each, so much farm for Zuna there. Yeah, great juke by Smithy there, just to get a cooldown out of Team Coast. And then, man, Mandatory Cloud, able to get in his ulti. As we said, it's up to him to wait for the cooldown. Answer kill for Nintendo.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did a good job using that on Ari at the right moment. So kills look all across the map here, and XDG come out with a nice gold lead.
Yeah, little bits of lead everywhere. There's a good charm on ManCloud, stopping what could have been a death sentence into just that for Shifter. And ManCloud with that now has a kill death as opposed to the death assist. And he's on that Blade of the Rune King finished up already. Seeing Shifter try to rush the Zanyas, which is not normal for him. Usually he goes for power, but he's putting safety in play with power this game. Yeah,
I don't think he's actually going to rush the completed Zanyas. He got the Arm Guard is a very efficient item when you're laning against an AD. Just because, yeah, as far as armor and AP goes, it's very efficient pickup. And he'll probably be getting that Deathfire. But yes, the Zanyas will be an eventual pickup, very strong against Zed. So he can avoid that extra damage.
Nice bit of block out by ManCloud playing the mind games as they take down Dragon. They have that timer. It'll be very good for them, especially with the bit of gold lead they've already been able to accrue. But a little bit of off timing on the mid lane, so they lose mid turret. Let their map get opened up a bit.
Yeah, it's a good answer from Coast. When they spend all their resources going for Dragon, they lose control of mid lane. And having that tower down is going to be great because, as I said before in the beginning of the game, Coast's all about picking people off. They need to make those moves with the Ahri, with the Kazakhs, to find people isolated and opening up the entire map there with the mid-turret kill.
I'm surprised they didn't decide to fully go for that top there. Shifter should be able to clear out the mid lane, but Benny on the bottom, he's going to pick up that turret, push it back in the favor of them for after grabbing that Dragon. Good thing he didn't involve his wings. See if Sheep can get any more plays in for the team. Almost Blade of the Rune King finishing the top lane as well. We're going to have 3 Blades coming out on the side of XDG. They're going to be able to crush down objectives.
Oh man, yeah, once they complete all 3 Blade of the Rune King, that will be a very quick Baron if they ever get positioning.
Yeah.
And plus, both Lee Sin and Twitch can get into the Baron pit without being seen. So that's a possible 2-man Baron. Plus, Mandatory Cloud could do it as well, so it could be 3-man sneaky Baron for XGG in the future if they're able to pull off the coordination as far as the map control is concerned.
Heck yeah. Back in the day when Heartbeat brought out Tristana, he would use the Blade of the Rune King, and they'd do the early Tristana.
Hop over that wall, nobody even knows.
Put on the rapid fire and go to work. Looks like we got 15 minutes coming up on the clock. CS is actually fairly close for each lane. It's really been brought back together. Zion's doing what he can with even all that pressure in the bottom lane to get it back. He's not trying to build too much that Benny can steal from him, but he's still got to get himself tanky.
Interesting. A lot of pink wards actually from both teams, but XDG holding on to a couple of theirs. They could use it in a fight with Kha'Zix, try and secure a kill, but even if you reveal him, it is so hard to kill him with the damage reduction, but also the speed. It's not just all this damage reduction that people are talking about, soaking up spells.
That 40% speed, just run around like a crazy madman. Smithy.
You gotta call it before it happens.
We'll see what Smithy can do. He's hanging off on the wing here, and this is when the fights happen. That ward vision. All they want is the ward, but they're gonna cost.
Yeah.
Yep. I thought they were gonna keep going for the fight, but it only cost them one. I thought it was gonna cost them more than that.
Now, it's ward baits are going to be extremely common in this game especially, and Coast getting one of the picks right there is really, really big for them, because it also allows them to surround this top turret, knowing that they have the advantage, and another assassin coming in. Shifter's ready.
That's a good flash, but it's only a flash for him to go down. Looks like Zuna's going to be hit up as well, and Coast has really been planning this one for a few minutes now.
Now they're going to get the objective off this too. It's pretty much just up to Zion to try and hold down there against Benny. Talked about how Benny was going to have control of that matchup pretty much for the duration of the game, but it looks like he's lost it. Oh, good juke though.
A quick flash. Oh!
He turns back in.
Trying
oh
to put it
God.
on. It looks like he may be able to get the kill here.
Whoa.
Pushes off Zion Spartan. Very nice play by Benny to quickly flash out of that one with the fast fingers, keeping himself alive, and the team is going to try to reposition here on the bottom lane.
All right. Get your heart pumping quick there. Watching Benny, and ManCloud tries to come down, but it's going to be way too late. They need to get some more coverage inside the jungle, though, because as we've seen already, Coast have been capitalizing on the picks that they get. It's not just a pick and then walk away. They got the top turret after they killed someone for that ward up top. Intent dude, good juke.
Sheep was got he got him on the second one.
Though.
There's that damage reduction you're seeing. He actually jumps away from Xmithy, so he can't take the dragon kick. Very nicely played.
Yeah, calculated. Got a kill on demand for a Cloud there. Good initial juke by Nintendo on the play.
Might have actually got it. The kick went off. Wasn't quite sure with all the jumping around who it went on to. Deathfire Grasp and the likes of the Blade of the Rune King being used up in that engagement. And we see Daydreaming. All the sweeping going on right now. Things are clean on the side of Coast.
Yeah. 3 pink wards down for XDG. All along this side. It's a pretty good little path here, but they're not really in a space to defend those wards because they're fairly extended on the bottom side of the map.
Wow.
And with that turret going down, they lose a lot of ground.
Not able to answer. We just saw Coast in the top lane. It's like they all teleported down to the bottom, and then they're able to take that one after the other. The domino effect begins, and that's just one person. Wiz Fusion able to take down Xmithy to a quarter of HP.
So yeah, Coast, they do a good job making use of the power play here. After that pick in mid, well, it wasn't even really a pick. I guess it was a bait by Nintendo. We'll give him credit for that kill that gave them the positioning to do this. They get that kill, they make a move down bottom with their extra person, and Zuna answering up top. Good for XDG, but they have to make a decision now. Dragon coming up in 25 seconds. Do they want to bring him over for this? Because the gold is very close. They could easily do this team fight.
XDG has a heck of a lot of wards, but none of them are really where they need to be right now. Coast is past all of them. Right now trying to take down these turrets.
Zuna's coming in with a completed Blade of the Ruin King here. They do have all 3 done. Yeah. So this dragon is very, very dangerous for Coast. Because Zuna can open up if they're inside that pit. Very easy for him to hit everything. Oh, he's not here yet. You gotta wait a couple seconds.
1, 2, 3, the ultimates. How many ultimates just for Benny? The orb coming back, and it does take him out. They're now into ManCloud. The Foxfires do hit, but it's not enough to finish off the rest of the fight for ManCloud. It looks like they're trying to reposition as they jockey here, looking at each other, and those health bars are what Sheep wants. He just misses the hook.
Daydream and sidestepping the Q from Smithy to just bought himself some more time, saves his life. They actually trade this dragon for mid-turret because they had lost positioning on the map, and XDG could push down that turret anyway. So they grab a dragon in answer, they get some extra global gold and control of this blue side of the map.
One of my favorite parts when both teams kind of just gentleman agreement, knowing that they'd all die, so they'd rather take a turret for the dragon. And they're fine with it until they meet again.
All right, so let's take another look at this. Benny getting caught. Because he charmed closer to the team, the solar flare actually misses. Daydreaming was
That's a great
predicting
play
the
as
escape.
well.
This was all because Zuna was maybe 2 seconds a little bit too late to the team fight. If he had been there during that move from Coast up the little corridor, it would have been a bloodbath. But because he was coming from base, no home guards, was not quite in position for that. And the charm onto Benny paid off for Coast.
See what they have. Zuna trying to go for that Phantom Dancer so he can get the crits out on the spray and pay.
I mean, everybody cheering for these words. They are actually pretty much the most important part of this game right now.
Yeah, no joke.
Because
no joke.
that's how all these kills are happening.
We've seen at least 3 or 4 fights just this game, along with the other games, just happening because of the ward placement. Ward Wars, next at 11.
Can they contest it though? Okay, so Nintendo doesn't want to get close enough. Oh, he didn't even have his smite up.
See what the discrepancy is here coming into the lanes as XDG begins to move around.
Now, Wiz is down bottom, so it's up to XDG to make something happen on another side of the map, because slowly right now, Coast are getting passive gold game. They are winning right now, even though it looks like nothing is happening, because they had an extra person farming a random lane. They were getting an advantage, and XDG were just roaming around their own jungle, not making a decisive call, not getting really anything done as far as the game plan is concerned. You need to be getting down vision or going to try and put pressure on some sort of lane or objective.
Looks like Sheep is going to be the one to hold down the top fort right now. Kind of weird positioning here from XDG as they're waiting about for Coast to really make a move.
And XDG have to be careful. Because Twitch has invisibility, he often gets overconfident looking for assassination attempts, especially since his Blade of the Rune King is already completed. But there are a lot of stray pink wards for Coast. And if Zuna walks too close into some true sight, then they can easily jump on him and obliterate him.
XDG is pretty much just wearing a path between top and middle right now, right where Benny is going and coming from. Zion Spartan as well is kind of taking the toll there. He's making sure everybody gets charged if they want to pass. Now pushing down mid again. Coast is trying to flex their muscles here, but every time it happens, it's just wave clear coming out of XDG as well.
Wiz Fusion has the speed boots right now. Boots of speed.
Yeah.
Very, very
Swifty.
rare pickup for AD carry, but there are a lot of slows on XDG, and he does not want to be caught. I have to say, though, if somebody's jumping on him, it's probably going to be ManCloud, and the Swifty boots are not going to get you away from him.
It's also pretty nice when you charge that Q, you walk slower, so you're kind of like...
Yeah, that's why sometimes I used to get them on Vi, because it's cool. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm always slowing myself. They're going to be so cost-effective. I'm going to make so much use out of this reduction of slow. Turns out, not the most efficient item.
Not so much.
But it's cool.
Indeed, absolutely. Gotta love the ideas. 23 minutes in, it is 7-3. A little bit less of a bloodbath than our last game, but pushing each other back and forth just as strategically. Figuring out a way to adapt on the fly is something XDG has to do right now. Push back to their second tier of turrets. They don't have much left but this mid one until the base.
Whoa, Zion popping his ulti, actually. That's a pretty good win there for XCG. They need every little bit that they can get, too, because tower going down very quickly.
Very good damage from Wiz Fusion, keeping his eye on the prize every time he gets the chance, but Sheep is just waiting for that hook, waiting for that pillar from Benny.
Exactly. So basically, if XGG get a hook, then it's up to Benny to try and shove people into a small area with his pillar. They want to make him artificially create a corridor for Twitch to shoot people down from. That's what this Trundle plus Twitch combination is for. That was a pretty good spot right there, but not quite close enough.
You can almost tell Zuna drops into invisibility and then they wait since he gets that attack speed and that steroid coming out. It's almost a primed engagement. The Coast had a ward in the backside, they'd know it's coming every time. Right now, they're safe for themselves. They're ready for the fight to come full on.
Basically, right now, I think it's just Coast. They have to have Wiz Fusion stand far away from Nintendo and Shifter. As long as they're not all three together, then they should be all right.
Only a matter of time. Coast able to get down that second tier turret in mid in the last 3, actually top tier stands. Somebody was on that earlier, did not see it, so only 5 on the outside, and Coast probably head up towards that top lane. Dragons in 30, so a few things to consider here, but a lot of power now coming out of Shifter. He's able to put that needlessly large rod in, and once the Zhonya's is out, he can make even more plays.
Yeah, he's definitely itching to use that Deathfire Grasp. And as you said, Zhonya's completed now, so if he does decide to try and split versus ManCloud, he's got a good chance of winning that duel. Just completing the Zhonya's is a really, really big step up for Shifter. But he has to, like I said, play that charm perfectly when ManCloud goes in for the death mark.
Speaking of ManCloud, 207 to 185, one of the higher CSers in the league. You can actually see he kind of taxes Xmithy's jungle, 97 to 70 there. So Xmithy kind of has to deal with that. Hopefully the team can get in range for this dragon. They will not. This Coast is able to clean up more of the jungle.
And with this Blade of the Ruin King heavy building XDG team here, they don't have a lot of tanky stats, and that's dangerous when you're playing against Kha'Zix, because whoever gets low, whoever Shifter catches out or something, Nintendo can easily execute, and that's going to be pretty much a guaranteed reset. Even Shyvana, even Trundle right now, because you rush that Blade of the Ruin King, not too tanky at the moment, and Kha'Zix with AD is going to be able to kill him.
Both teams playing very safe, but that's not too safe. Chain of Corruption comes in right after the Solar Flare. A good lockdown, but he's invisible now, and the team cannot get to him. Nintendo gets the hook as well, and it looks like they're going to try to initiate. Not enough damage to get out that reset.
Yeah.
There's a kick. Just kicked him right in the jaw.
We've seen so many Lee Sin kicks onto the Dragon's Ascents today.
Yep.
Now, that was also a pretty cool interaction where ManCloud ults Nintendo, and Nintendo immediately jumping back to his team to try and bring him in, but the shadow still stays where you cast it. So he's ManCloud's in no danger, able to immediately swap back to it. That was very dangerous, though. We saw the combo that can potentially land on Zuna. If Daydream is able to land his CC on Zuna at all, then it's easy for WizFusion to follow it up with his ulti. And if those chains land on Zuna and he doesn't get to go invisible, then he's toast.
I'm sure if he didn't go invisible, he would have caught another piercing arrow from WizFusion. Those are doing quite a bit of damage right now, and he actually is not going for what we used to see in the Legolas build, where they kind of just hit up the last Whisper first to go for that pen. He's going for the full build, auto attack and all. Get those blights on.
I think I'm a fan of these Boots of Swiftness, just because it's cool looking, and he's able to.
It's cool looking.
It's able to reposition himself while he's charging his piercing arrow, so he can get that long range shot just to snipe somebody. Go for those YouTube highlights.
It's true though. There are a lot of slows as well. So if he gets stuck trying to charge a Q under a pillar, he's definitely dead. Trying to do everything he can to stay alive. It's somewhat helping this game. He's only got one more death than Zuna. The AD carries have not fared too well in this one. 7-3 in kills right now. They've made it quite hard for ManCloud to do anything in this.
Yeah, I mean, as we said, they don't really have teleporting options. Both the teams are very similar compositions, so we're going to have an extended period where both teams are fighting over vision in the jungle. And we can see right now, it's very hard for them to clear it out. That's why everybody's changing over to all these sweeping lenses, and they're spending so much money on these pink wards, because it's all about whoever is able to find somebody out of position here. Yep. If you have Twitch and Zed finding somebody, that's going to be a kill. But if you have Ari and Kha'Zix, it's exactly the same story. So
yeah, one faster than the other as well.
Just going to come down to who can catch who out and who gets baited in by the next pink ward. 5 hits is a long time to stand somewhere.
Hey man, ward placement. 5-3 on
Could
those
be that
turrets.
one.
29 minutes on the clock. It looks like it may be the top turret to deliver us our
they want to defend it? Oh,
he's pinched.
Trying.
He's squeezed in there. Big hips on Zion Spartan. He can't get himself out just yet.
They're getting turret damage this whole time, though.
Every time.
The Vision War is a distraction. Coast are using that Ward War as a distraction. WizFusion this whole time getting this turret down to half life.
It looks like this is all they will need to take it down as well. Nobody wants to be messing with Shifter. A quick Deathfire Grasp would be enough to cancel somebody out. A lot of the damage that sits there for Coast is a front-end, in-your-face burst. Yeah, you're going to get that from Deathfire, but with so many Blade of the Rune Kings, it's kind of an overtime fight for these guys on XDG.
I mean, XDG, as we said before, they've got no real tank here since Benny's gone so offensively oriented this early. So that's why you can see them at the turret. They're like, oh, we don't really have a point man. Can't really fight this. They need to get some sort of flank to try and get around the front line of Coast.
Oh, the long range Zenith Blade! Solar Flare hitting beautifully onto the team, but they all try to get out of it with their gap closers, and they do a good job of it, but the disengage is even better. Nobody has gone down in the fight yet, but there are blinking red on both sides. Good flash there, stops Daydreaming from getting caught out. The Shuriken not enough coming in from ManCloud, and both teams are left wondering what would have been.
Just bang on each other for a little bit in the jungle here, and everybody rocks away unscathed. Let's see, what cooldowns did we lose here, though? A couple of flashes. Twitch still has all of his, though. That's the main thing I'm looking at. Since Zuna keeps getting away, you know, even though the Chain of Corruption spread to him, he keeps on being able to go invisible and not going down in the fight. So with Twitch having the summoner advantage over Varus, I think XDG might actually look to take the next fight. They've been on the defensive for so long here, but they're in a pretty good advantage now that they do have that extra AD carry summoner spells working in their favor. Uh-oh, Smithy, though.
Just a little sidestep, keeps him safe. Nice. Double
Sometimes it's
arrow.
dangerous to go back for those lanterns. That was pretty close to the enemy team there. But we return to our same old game, fighting over jungle vision here around Baron.
It's surprising, too, because nobody's really gone at Baron that much to pressure the fight. They always find each other just before Baron, and they're like, all right, we'll just do it now. Good core items out for both teams, so it's really getting down to that skill set of how you can perform within these 5v5 fights. We're not near full items yet. Still considering pretty early in the game, looking at level 15s and 13s.
Zed's showing down bottom with the split push. Like the call from Coast to actually force something here because they have full vision control now. They actually finally won that vision war. But man, do they pull back from the Baron that quick
damage. See where they decide to go with this.
We almost had action. That was close.
Holding the breath.
All right, but yeah, so we just saw there, XCG, they started with a little bit of split pushing here. And ManCloud, he's got his armor penetration ready. You know, he can put up a really strong showing in any sort of duel.
Man, the Solar Flare into Chain of Corruption is so dangerous. You can see how far XDG stands apart from each other when they go in for these fights. There's the Solar Flare going down on the team. Chain of Corruption as well. Nintendo bouncing out, but he gets hit up by ManCloud before he can take him out. Gets a little kill for himself. Zion Spartan's going to be in a 4v1 here. I think ManCloud got a touch on that. They're going to tunnel on this one and possibly turn around for the Dragon. Huzzah! Got the hook. Got the kill. And they're going to be coming up.
Right in that fight, ManCloud goes for the AD carry without summoner spells. It was a great call from XDG. They knew they had the AD carry summoner advantage. Kill Wiz Fusion right at the beginning, and there was no hope for Coast after that. It was also a very nice job by ManCloud going back to his shadow to clean up that kill. He's making a case for himself returning to his previous form. We put so much emphasis on Smithy getting back to his jungle roots. ManCloud actually making a good play right there.
Doing quite well. Like we said, this is his first one on Zed in the LCS. He definitely rolled that with solo queue, but he's bringing it out here on the big stage, and it seems to be working for him. 3-2-1, 266, highest CS in the game, but Shifter's trying to stay right on his tail in that aspect. He is in every lane trying to farm right now when the teams are pretty much objective-free here. Baron could be the next thing, but I'm going to say it's a ward fight because that's where we've been getting them all from.
Yeah. Back to our ward wars. Coast, they've pretty much had control of the actual Baron pit for this whole time.
He's right.
Well, all right. So I said you had to call it where it is, but now you have to call it before they put it down. Where's the next one that they're actually going to place? Huh? I may or may not have a stockpile of funny hats to give out.
2,000 gold as Kobe gets the crowd going. 6.
Oh, he got a jump!
Oh, he gets the Zenith Blade! That's not what they wanted to happen! They put an E in the books, and it looks like Sheep's going to have to throw the box to disengage.
They got one pick, and they only had 3 people there, so run away as soon as we kill somebody. Everybody run away from the scene of crime. Smithy's dead. Nobody take a second look here, but now they're inside the Baron pit. XCG, they're looking to contest this one. They do have Twitch who can shoot over the wall.
Oh my dear, going into the
he
pit.
only got one shot off.
He is just chewing people alive right now, eating them right up. Daydreaming very low. Benny's going to try to go in. Baron is the non-option anymore. Wiz Fusion gets a kill on the Man Cloud. Sheep going a little too deep, and they cut his coat off. Benny's going to get chopped up by Nintendo. Zuna trying to go hard, but he can't do enough work. Getting taken out by Zion Spartan, and they're back to Baron.
Well, Riv, we were waiting for the pick this whole time. The Vision War, I lasted like 10, 15 minutes there. Finally, Smithy is actually the one who gets caught, though. Mandatory Cloud landing that charm to start everything off, and they make use of the power play. One man down, boom, immediately go to Baron. They force another fight and come out on top. Even though Zuna trying to make a play at the end, not low enough for him to capitalize.
So our first real chunk of gold going in favor of Coast here, about 6,000. 6,000 gold in their favor. 3 turrets as well. We haven't actually seen them going for many more turrets after that second tier middle one. That was a good 5, 6, maybe 7 minutes ago. So Coast now may be able to put something else in their back pocket. Daydreaming, as you can see, didn't get that Baron off of that one.
Yeah, I think that we are drawing to a close here because Zion, not only do his hips not lie, but he's got a blade mail now, or a thorn mail now.
Yes, indeed.
So all he has to do is jump in front of Twitch. Twitch cannot damage anyone now. If he's shooting his spray and pray through Zion, all Zion has to do is be in the front of him, and he's going to be killing this Twitch. Twitch is going to be killing himself at this point. So Zion actually, by going Blade of the Rune King last tier, is a really good build for him. All he needs from that is the slow, so he can stick on Twitch. It's pretty much just, even if Benny shreds Zion's armor, it just means that, oh shit.
Ooh, they went very hard on Zion, or Smithy there rather. Zion doing what he can just to be, like you said, in the front line. He was kind of waving back and forth, making sure he was the first one to always be hit. We'll see what he can do. Really just saying, you know what, I'm against a Trundle, but I'm going to build stats all game. Usually you'll see a Shyvana trying to bring out that Blade of the Rune King first, but he gave no care. 1-1-6 coming out 256 on the CS as he's gotten a little bit of a lead over Benny here, and they still try to approach the turret. That Sunfire Cape always gives him aggro right away, so they got to be quick on this.
Yeah, Zion's just looking to be the front line here, though, and scare off XDG. He's opening up the opportunity for these hits onto the turret. They're slowly wearing it down, making good use of this Baron buff. If XDG want to go, it'll be on the next minion wave here. So the pressure's on. Sheep, can you land the next hook on this minion wave? It's going to be very dangerous.
It's going to be very big. Daydreaming with
Charm
the Randuins as well. If he gets into the fight, he's going to be throwing that off. Sheep, for the other support side, has the Crucibles to keep someone safe. We'll see if all of these can be played out just perfectly. The pressure of the hook is now down for a few more seconds, and the 6,000 gold lead is starting to weigh on XDG in this mid inhibitor turret.
No defensive items for Zuna either here. There's 2 Banshees bail out, but he still doesn't have one. He's going full offensive items for this Twitch. Very, very dangerous for him.
One more time. Zion,
I guess they give it
still
up.
up front.
They go in after the turret's
Smithy
down.
going in very hard, kicks Wiz Fusion, but nobody's there. They didn't know he was going to do it. Man Cloud jumps right onto him. It's going to be the Death Mark. No, he just actually takes back that first Death Mark shadow, and he will be safe. Daydreaming getting hooked up. That will be a kill, but no reason to let the rest of the dominoes fall. They are going to back out at a 1-for-1.
Now 1-for-1, but they engage the fight after the turret goes down, right when it goes down. So inhibitor turret down, that was the objective for Coast. They're very, very happy with the way they were able to spend this Baron buff.
7 seconds on Dragon. It's going to be great for XDG to pick up that gold. It's easily and close worth that Baron gold right now at its highest amount, so they'll get that for themselves. You can see the average time now being crested for both of these teams. Doesn't mean they're playing outside their means right now, but it does mean that we're going to have to see a little bit of what they can come up with for the late game here. And if XDG can really do something worth 5,000 gold to put themselves back in the game.
I don't know. We might be getting to the point where Zuna starts getting a little antsy and goes for some assassination attempts to try and make use of that invisibility, because they are getting a little bit desperate now. In exposed inhibitor at mid, Coast will probably try and force here, since Dragon is down, long time till Baron. There's not much else on the map. But anytime you walk through that little window into the base, they're grouping up for Zuna, and Once his flash does come back up, XDG will probably actually take that fight.
Well, they're definitely not going to get the jungle fight we've been talking about. They have a good amount of wards to let them know where Coast is coming from, but I don't think it's their position to fight in just yet for XDG. Still on the back foot at 40 minutes in, 5 kills down, and just about 5,000 gold. They're waiting to pick up these turrets. So the turrets on the map are definitely gold that could be in their pocket. So they do have a surge of gold they could work with here, but they have to get to those turrets. None of the lanes are pushed up for that just yet, so they got some time to work with.
I think, you know, XDG, now that they do have a tank with Benny, their chances are definitely improving a lot for the next team fight because Smithy can kick away Zion. As long as he does it after Dragon's Descent is already used, then he might be able to buy Zuna some space to actually get off that damage. They're putting a lot of their hopes into this Twitch damage, this full offense Twitch right now. They really need him to be able to survive and get off his full spray and pray to have a chance. But man, does Zuna have a lot of things to dodge. He has to worry about not only Shifter and Nintendo jumping at him, but also the ultis from Wiz Fusion and Daydreamin. This crowd control bottom lane that Coast are running. It's very, very dangerous for Zuna.
Interesting look at Sheep Sweeper. Has not upgraded that yet to the Oracle's portion. Figured they'd be using that. They're still buying pink wards for coverage of the map, as well as Nintendo X in these fights if they wanted it. You can see that Daydreamin does have that upgrade. We're 41 minutes into the game right now, so you can see the priority of what items these guys are going for.
Yeah, so we're talking about defensive items on AD carries. We saw Wiz Fusion actually using his Quicksilver Sash there to take off the Death Mark. Sense Mandatory Cloud has shown a penchant for really going towards him and assassinating that target to jump back out immediately. Should save his life. Probably will save his life multiple times. Whereas, as we said, Zuna full offense, so he's really counting on positioning.
Well, this is where Zuna always really got the best of people in that late game. When he played his Kog'Maw, when he played that Vayne, if he could get to the late game with any of the long-range AD carries like Caitlyn, he would do well. Right now, he can keep that distance. We'll see what he can do if they get the corridor fights. We keep putting that pressure on for these guys.
Now, even though Baron is coming up, it's going to be a long time till Coast can clear out all these wards. There's some really good wards from XDG, pretty much all around the Baron pit, so they'll be able to know at least if Coast are inside. I think it would be much safer for Coast to actually force that fight towards that exposed inhibitor rather than around Baron.
Coast is definitely giving XDG's damage consideration. These guys should be in each other's face right now, but they're saying neither of us want to lose.
They're going mid here. Benny down to half already.
What they needed, exactly what they needed to start this one off. Nintendo X able to stomp out Benny with the rest of the team, but it's a good run from XDG. They could keep enough resources and members up here to just have the inhibitor go down.
They go up mid, and man, they find the pick just through the lane. That's ridiculous for Coast. They use Shifter's ulti in the process, but exposed inhibitor down. Now the real dance begins. 35 seconds for Benny. Baron is up. Pink ward's already inside for Coast.
Putting the Q on the race, trying to get a little extra vision at what might come out of the brush, but it dies off, and Xmithy was coming around the other highway. Looks like they're going to get a push down mid. They're going to try to say, we'll put pressure in mid. We'll leave Xmithy to do that. Get some far wards in, so if there's a disengaged fight, they can continue to chase, but they may be too split up for this. Once again, played out of the Dragon's Descent. Once again, can he grab it? The Lantern is in, and he safeguards the rest of the way as well. And it looks like Zion Spartan will not be able to get any more damage.
Fancy moves with the Dark Passage. Zion ulti down.
Oh, one after the other. He has to be counting his graces on having safeguard in that Thresh Lantern.
They bought enough time for Benny to be back up, but look at the minion waves. So much pressure on the outer turrets here for XDG. Now, they can give those up and give up the money, because even if the minions do damage to the turret, as long as they don't kill the turret, it will regenerate over time, the inhibitor turrets.
A full Orb of Deception just on the end takes Xmithy some big damage.
They got to be careful. Mancloud showing in the bottom lane here. They got to know that Coast are going to go right for this.
And he going around the outside. We saw him do a pretty good amount of damage and disruption. Smithy goes down.
Right down.
Shifter's going to be able to charm once again. Orb and Foxfire are up for the kill. He actually held the orb. Double kill in a 2v1 situation. Solar Flare comes down. Zion Spartan, it's the full Dragon's Descent this time, and XDG is in a bad spot at the right time for Coast, and it looks like Benny will be the next one to fall. The 1v1 of ManCloud and Wiz Fusion, and Wiz does what he does best, taking out ManCloud.
All right, so they not only do they have that giant wave that was bottom, but they've got mids, double super minions. Top is already pushed in. That's probably game for Coast there. I think ManCloud showing bottom for that small wave. That wave was not even going to kill the turret.
We talked about the solo lanes. Talked about their solo lanes. Shifter. Zion Spartan coming out big in this game. The pickup of Varus for Wiz Fusion hasn't done it since week 1. Everybody prevails here for Coast. 45.5 minutes in, they get the best of XDG, and the head-to-head is 3-1.